Okay, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, I want to talk to y'all more about Skyforge. But not exactly Skyforge so much, but more so the team behind it. You know, the guys developing it in the company and stuff like that. And what their next move is. However, if you want to stay up to date on all things console MMORPGs, make sure you're liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you're new, and let's go ahead and get right on into today's subject. So, it's no secret, Skyforge is going to be shutting down on consoles here in a few days, and God, the more I say that out loud, the more it hurts. And I wanted to make more videos on this topic, but the realistic thing is, this bothers me. And I know there's a lot of people out there, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but some people out there that, that just think because, I criticize the game a lot, I dislike it, I hate it. I even saw a person in the Skyforge Discord accuse me of, spreading false information about the pay to win it and stuff like that. I've heard all kinds of crazy things. When literally every point I have made about this game, I've literally put evidence of it on the screen. and showed people. And speaking of the gameplay right here, this gameplay is actually from my original first impressions of the Nintendo Switch version. And the funny thing is, this review, when I made this, it actually started with a 3-minute intro of me showcasing my biggest issue with the game. And people, still just have crazy opinions on my thoughts. But anyway, I know we got off topic there. Sorry, but what I want to talk about in today's video is what is next for the developers behind Skyforge. What's next for the team? What are they going to be working on? Because clearly, when you shut down one game as a development team, you're making space for something else. There's another project behind the scenes. There's something else in the works. There's something else that y'all plan on investing your time, money, and resources into. And, it's not like the company that made the game are shutting down or anything or closing their doors. The game's just getting shut down. So clearly, they have plans for the future. They could be planning an RPG. They could be planning a platform game. They could be planning a racing game. There's all kinds of things they could be doing. They could be working on a first-person shooter, the next Fortnite. I don't know. But what if, right? What if, let's, get in the dreamland here a little bit, because, console MMOs are a dying breed right now, I hate to say, but it's getting rough out here for console MMOs, so rough that I'm thinking about changing the focus of the channel. And yeah, y'all heard me right. So like I said, if you got suggestions for that, throw them down in the video comments. But what if they decided to go the MMO route again? What if they wanted to try and build another MMORPG? What if instead of sci-fi, they wanted to go fantasy or apocalyptic or, past or future or, just something? What if they wanted to just take another shot at the MMO game? Because the thing is, I don't think MMOs are dead. I just think nobody's doing anything innovative or creative enough to just, grab people's attention with it. I don't think MMOs are dying. I don't even mean to be cocky. I'm no game developer, so, I can't do this, but I don't think anybody's doing it right. I don't think anyone's putting anything out there to make players happy, and that's why everything keeps getting shut down. That's why everything keeps failing. That's why everything keeps dying. And there's a reason that Final Fantasy XIV, ESO, Black Desert, World of Warcraft, just the same typical MMOs that are at the top just stay there. And even those games are, having fall-offs in player numbers and things like that, because, those were the games that did it the best, and even they're struggling. So, we really need something to wow players. But, what if the team behind Skyforge, what if they were working on something new? What would you want from them? What would you want them to do differently than that from what they did with Skyforge? Would you want a more console-focused game? Would you want a more PC-focused game? Would you want something big that worked on all platforms like PC, console, and mobile? What do you guys think? Me personally, I would love to see something like that. I personally think, they should aim for a larger multi-platform game. Me personally, I think, instead of going sci-fi or something like that, they should aim more towards a fantasy route, like World of Warcraft or Neverwinter or something, because clearly, when you look at Skyforge, they have class creativity. And when you look at Skyforge at the end of the day, these devs did do a lot of things right, but they also did some things wrong. And if they carry those things that they did right, amplify them, and innovate in the next game, they really could have something. Because the thing is, good games, it's at the end of the day, it's not about tons of billions of dollars spent on marketing. It's not about, giant creators representing, because you can have the biggest people playing your game. So you can have Mr. Beast do a let's play of your game. That does not mean it's going to succeed. Just because, he has 500 million or close to 500 million subscribers watch it, that does not mean the game's going to succeed. You guys have seen this all the time. Big creators, will get paid thousands of dollars to, to promote a game, and it'll still die down within a few weeks. Despite those, those larger people playing it. That's not the key. They need something to grab players' attention. We can't just keep doing the whole, quest, get to end game, and then, super hard dungeons and gear farm anymore. I mean, that can be the premise of it, but there's got to be more. Things have got to innovate. You need things probably like, special choices in your quest. Multiple story endings for the main for the main campaign. Hell, let some of the choices you make in the quest lines, let those choices affect your end game and how it turns out. Like, say there's a raid boss, right? And you can have an NPC that helps you, because you work with him sometime in the story. Well, depending on how you interact with this NPC, he could either be someone that helps you fight this raid boss, or someone that tries to kill you along with it. And, boom. Not only did you innovate and do something different, but you have two different versions of the same raid. You also have more content. And, that's just one silly idea. And, I'm sure game developers, as creative as they are, there's all kinds of different things they can come up with. So, hopefully that idea I just said now, maybe somebody takes that and uses it one day. I don't know. I'm not saying it's something amazing, but, it's just something different. And I think that, if the Skyforge team, if they were to try and go make another MMO, these are things that they need to consider. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.